Before I start on today's project, I just want to do a shout out to a young fella in England, heck of a turner, named Mike Waldt. If you haven't already seen him, I'm sure you will enjoy his turning. And he's one of those rarities. There's an old saying, those who can, do. Those who can't, teach. Well, Mike certainly can do it, and he's a very good teacher too. I've really enjoyed his videos. I'm going to put a link down below in the description box so you can check out his channel. I'm sure you'll want to subscribe. He's got a lot of videos. They're real good. I hope you enjoy them. And now, through the magic of editing, we're going to jump into today's video. Hi there. 3 or 4 years ago, I was given this piece of wood by a fella. He told me it had been through a forest fire. Now, it's certainly charred enough that it looks like it has been. He told me it's either spruce or pine, I can't remember which, and told me that the properties of the wood will change after the high heat of a forest fire. Maybe he was pulling my chain. Maybe he just wanted to see if he could make an idiot out of me, which wouldn't be the first time. But I'm going to take a look at this. I've wondered ever since I got it just what could happen with it. So I'm going to just cut a little bowl blank out of it. It's only 5 inches across, so I can't do much more. And I just want to see what will come of this. So I'm going to give it a try now.
The first thing I'll do is screw down this 5-inch disc as a template to use on the bandsaw. I'm drilling a 3/8 inch hole in the center of the top to accommodate the woodworm screw. Now I'll just turn the blank onto the woodworm screw.
There's some pretty bad cracks across here, and it's being cut as well with something. I may have to turn all of that out of there and make it shallower than it's looking like it could be. Well, it's certainly turning more like a hardwood than a softwood so far. It's looking like it might be nice. There's a very unique aroma when turning this. Totally unlike anything I've smelled before when turning wood. I suppose that could be attributed to the fact it was in the fire. I don't know what else could do it. Still got a little crack there I want to get out of here. It's going to be a pretty small bowl, but the bowl is not really the purpose of this whole turning. Larger one up there. I think I'm going to have to make it shorter yet. I've turned the speed up from 1250 to 2000. It's still a little bit of tear out there, but it is a little cleaner than it was getting at 1250. I'm going to form a tenon on the end so I can reverse chuck it. Then I will clean this up, sand it and finish it. Then I'll reverse chuck and work it on the inside. There's a real strange bit of grain in here, very hard. I'm getting some real bouncing of the chisel when I'm cutting. Shear scraping cleaned it up fairly well. Now I'll just sand it. A couple of things I want to point out. One is that, like softwood, it really clogs up the sandpaper. This is after I use compressed air to blow it out. It's clogged up pretty good. Another thing, the rings are very tight, much denser than any softwood I've seen before. I assume the heat of the fire dried it out real rapidly and basically caused the tree to shrink, giving that nice tight grain. It's really quite pretty. I've sanded it just to 120. I had to start actually at 80 because it was very full of tear out. And I'm going to continue sanding now up to 400 and then I'll be back. I have sanded it to 400 grit. Now I'm going to put some pure beeswax on it. I'm going to turn it up to 2000 RPM so it'll melt the wax onto it. And then I'm going to try something I learned from watching that young fella from England, Mike Waldt. He uses 4/0 steel wool to blend it in. Now I have to be careful because there are a couple of pretty good cracks here. I don't want the steel wool to get caught up in that. I'll have a devil of a time cleaning it out. Then I'll buff it with paper towel and do a second buffing with another clean paper towel and see what we end up with there. That is a beautiful grain in there. enough to make me start looking for forest fire country. I'm going to reverse chuck it and see what I can do on the inside. Alright, I'm ready to start turning the inside now. Kind of like to leave some of this burn marking on the outside, but I don't want to leave any of the charcoal area at all. It's just really dirty. Just touching that, if I tried to make a natural edge, would just be very dirty, as you can see. So I'm going to have to take off most of it and see what I end up with. I need to take quite a bit more off to get down to here. I think I'll just leave that much evidence of the charcoal. Doesn't look too bad. One more little skim just to take this crack off, I think. Certainly is coming out of there like softwood now. Very pulpy. I think I'll see what a scraper will do in there. Little tear out in the back. Other than that, it's not looking too bad. Let's see how deep we are here. I can easily go another 1/4 of an inch perhaps. And I think that's deep enough. Now it's time to get back to the sandpaper, clean this out, and then I'll come back. Alright, I'm going to try the same process with the beeswax here. Definitely got to stay away from the outside with the steel wool. Then I'm going to reverse this into my coal jaws, turn off the bottom. There's a little bit of a wobble to it there. It's not perfect, but it'll be good enough to turn off the bottom. And I'll use my spindle gouge for this. bit of sanding on there. I have it sanded to 400. Now I'm going to lay the skew chisel on its side and use the point just to put a couple of lines for decoration. It's looking good enough. Just use some 240 grit sandpaper to sand those lines a bit. I'll just put some beeswax on the bottom of this as well. There we go. Now that is a long way from a work of art, but I was far more interested in the wood itself than the project. Quite happy with that. I think I'll just keep that around as a reminder of just what a forest fire can do. Some good came out of it after all. Well, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Remember to subscribe and have yourselves a great day in your shop. Bye now.